So what can I do so Canadians trust my business? Click here the subscribe button, set up the alert. You like this video, click the like button. So I get this question a lot, which is, well, what's the problem? They don't seem to trust my business, right? I have a great product, I have a great service, but they keep asking me all these other little questions about my business. It's like they're not sure they want or not to buy from me. So here's something that's often forgotten. It's that business goes beyond the art of the craft, meaning what you sell. Let's say, you're a great sculptor and your company makes, like great sculptures like a Michelangelo. It's a really great at the core value proposition. But for people on the other side that they're buying, especially if the buyer is kind of a larger business, there may be multiple people involved in the decision, and people may have comfort from different angles. So this is where we see the difference between corporate goodwill and personal goodwill. Because when your company has a lot of personal goodwill, let's say you're great, you're there making the effort to sell, but then the buyer is larger, they look at your company as a one-person show. And they're like, how do I know we can trust them, right? Even if you have a team around you, but if every decision goes through you, all the materials, all the communication is through the founder, people will see a business that has a lot of personal goodwill, but not corporate goodwill. Corporate goodwill, it shows up when the business has processes, has systems, and has a team, and has multiple people, and all that kind of stuff. So you may run into that situation if the buyer that you're trying to reach works for a larger business. They may be looking for corporate goodwill, and you may not be ready to offer that. Also, the other thing we need always to remember, and sorry if I keep coming back to things that are so basic, but we get so busy in our day-to-day that we really forget about some basic stuff. So if I come back to some things that are too basic, there is a reason for that, right? Is that sometimes we need to be reminded even of the most basic stuff. It's like any martial arts school. If you go there, you see they start the lessons doing exactly the same exercise. And there are people there who have been doing that class for 20 years. They still go through the same drills. So it's the same thing in business, right? There are certain things we're always doing. So one of these things is, let's remember, value. When I'm trying to sell something, value is not the story I'm telling my client that I'm offering. That's my value. No, value is in the eye of the beholder. They believe that there are certain needs that they have that are of certain importance. In a way, it's almost like in microeconomics, there's that concept of utility functions, right? Utility is like, what's the overall benefit that you're receiving from consuming, from buying a certain product? Different people have different utility functions. If you're talking to somebody who is a buyer, they are interested in one aspect. If you're talking to the CEO of a smaller firm, they have different utility functions in their brain. In other words, there are different sets of things that people may consider important. And it's really vital for you if you want to increase your sales, if you want to help your clients decide to buy from you, you need to get into their head. So let's see here what works then. What typically works is that there's a lot of things considered boring that end up being pretty important. For example, processes, systems, people. So people, when they feel that the quote is being issued in a professional way, or a proposal is coming in a way that's well formatted, it's coming from an email that is professional, it's coming from a professional whatever form. All these things count in addition to the quality of the value that you're trying to sell. But all these things that come around that speak to the structure of your business, the processes, the systems, the team that you have, they carry with them this intangible perception, and they impresses upon the buyer what kind of supplier you are. And again, people tend to want to pay more or be ready to pay more for suppliers that they trust. What can I do so Canadians trust my business? Trust translates directly into more profits for you. So there is no need here to lose the soul of what you're trying to sell. Oh no, we're good at this. I'm not gonna focus on the fluff, on the marketing now. I'm not trying to cheat people, to deceive people. No, I'm not. It's not about that at all. It's just about making sure that along together with the core value that you deliver, you also pass to the other side that certainty that you are well structured in all matters. No matter what happens here, oh yeah, the payment system is fine. We receive the payment through the regular whatever online payments and all that kind of stuff. And we're always talking here about evolving what you're already doing, not replacing. It's not like, oh, you're doing everything wrong, let's do something else. Not at all. It's an evolution, right? So to help your clients trust more your business and therefore want to do business with you and increase your profits, and sometimes it may not even be clients, maybe investors, to help your investors trust more in you. Again, then they will put the money and other agents. So in order to help people trust your business, remember, you can come on board our Your Business in Canada platform, where we will work through this process with you, and you do that as part of a group of other people that are in the same journey with you. And remember, clients, investors, even employees, they don't see the same things that you know implicitly in your brain necessarily, right? So for example, let's talk about clients. Clients, you may have the perception, oh, they're asking for irrelevant things, irrelevant information, they don't buy. Well, why is that? Because if they're asking for certain things and you don't think they're important, let's say they may ask you about what insurance do you have? You say, oh, we don't worry about insurance. We never do insurance because nothing ever bad happens to us. Well, they're like, really? Nothing ever bad could happen to you. So the fact that you hold a corporate insurance policy shows that you take precautions. That's just a silly example, but it's true, right? If a client asks you about a corporate insurance policy and you say, what does it have to do with the water bottle that I'm trying to sell you? Like, just buy the bottle, here's the product, here's the insurance, what else you need? But it tells them about a general level of professionalism in your business. And I don't know what they're asking you. It could be an insurance policy, it could be like an anti-harassment policy, or it could be they want to know about your cybersecurity protections. I don't know. But all these things that they may be asking that apparently are irrelevant and unrelated to the core value of what you're trying to sell them, they actually are talking about how they can trust you. They say, okay, if you do this right, okay, you're also paying attention to that. Oh, you also have that. Okay, I guess you're all right. So we can trust you. And that's about clients. If we're talking about if you're trying to find investors or financing, I mean, that's also obviously important, right? Banks and investors, the complaint that I guess, oh, they don't see the value. They don't see the opportunity. It's almost like we have this wonderful golden value here and people are not appreciating, are not seeing. Well, maybe they are seeing that, but they're asking all those questions as well. It's the same reason why we put on like work attire and go to work as opposed, and I don't know, like some of us shave, cut the hair, put makeup, whatever, depending on the person. Like the person that we are when we're taking care of our garden on a Saturday afternoon is different than the person that shows up on a Tuesday morning at a meeting at a corporate office downtown in the financial district. Are you a different person now? And I'm not going to give value to you, but if you show up in your garden apparel, people are going to look and say, oh my God, right? It's like, it doesn't speak to the level of professionalism they are waiting. It's why we think it's different in our business. It's not just about the product or service we're selling. If bankers and investors want to see other things, say, hey, but where's your financial forecast? They say, forecast, come on, look at the world. All the uncertainty out there, how like anybody can produce a forecast and they're all going to be wrong. So why do we want a piece of paper that only has a fictitious information on it? That's a common reaction by a lot of entrepreneurs. Well, on the other side, the banker and investor is thinking, okay, I know that every projection is not going to materialize exactly as it was in the paper. I know it's going to be wrong, but the discipline that goes into producing a projection and thinking about expense items line by line and cost items and revenue streams and different market segments, the discipline that goes into that eventually materializes into a business plan or a financial projection. People that have the discipline to do that means they're taking good care of everything else. It's like shaving and taking a shower and like changing the clothes to go to the meeting as opposed to going with all the dirt from my garden. And then employee turnover is another complaint. People say, I can't find good people. And they leave. Well, people will leave if they believe they're not aligned with what they're doing now. They don't see a big motivation, right? So all these other things about the infrastructure of your business also affects your employee morale. And if they have an option to go and do something in a place that they feel more aligned and it provides them better working conditions, they're going to move. So these things are important. This issue about trust, right? Like what can I do so Canadians trust my business? And who are Canadians? Clients, financial investors, partners, but also even your employees. To help your clients, investors, employees, increase the level of trust in your business, you can come on board Your Business in Canada here, our platform, and we're going to guide you through the process, and you're going to have good company in the process with other like-minded business people like you.